Yay. All right.
Hi, secret agents.
Here we go.
Here we go, Sherry.
Let's let them in.
Let 'em in.
Woo! Good morning.
Good morning.
Look at all these amazing secret agents.
Hello, friends.
Welcome, welcome.
If you can, please go ahead and turn on your video so that we can see you. And we'll all say hi and give each other big hugs. Look at all those names of people that I love.
Oh, this is so wonderful. Good morning, everyone. Or good
Rose.
afternoon, or whatever it is for you. I know it's curious we're not seeing faces, and it's making me wonder. I'm going to check my security and make sure. Ah,
The host has stopped it.
aha. Thank you. Hostess, not that host, man.
Oh, thank
That's
you,
so
host.
All right, we're all
We are.
fixed now. We were just talking about Zoom bombers being the opposite of what we are, right? Like, so I have had Zoom bombing, which is why I had the security features. But it's like their surreptitious meanness.
But welcome, secret agents. So good to have you all here for a secret mission. It's Operation Mamma Mia. If you are able to, please do keep yourself muted so that just for unless we're talking, that would be great just for the sound quality for everybody. Welcome. And if you have a chance, go ahead and just lean into your screen right now and look into the eyes of the other people who you can see on your screen. Say good morning, secret agent. So glad you're here. That's right, wave. Give a hug. Blow some kisses. Hi. Nice to see you, friends. So good to see you. Sherry, do you want to say we're going to start with talking maybe just a little bit about who the secret agents are, how it all started. We always like to start this way for anybody who's new. And by the way, if you are new, raise your hand. Anyone willing to share? It's your first time, but welcome, secret agents. And if you've been here before, raise your hand. Welcome, secret agents. We're so glad you're all here, and we'll just fold everybody in and make everybody feel like this is exactly where I belong.
So, my
So,
lovely spy master, I'm sorry to interrupt you,
yes,
sweetheart. I am, for the next few minutes, just letting people in, and I'm going to check to make sure that I don't have any messages from people who are having trouble. So
okay.
I'm gonna just leave you for 30 seconds.
All right, you be an admin and I'll be a spy master for a moment. So, this is how it all started. Long ago, we became a group of surreptitious kindness spreaders. And by long ago, I mean, like 4 or 5 years ago. And what we do in these meetings is first we'll talk about this, then we'll offer a poem about our theme. Then Sherry is going to offer secret missions and ideas about how you might go out and spread kindness in the world. And then we'll open it up to lots of ideas for anybody who has, this is what I think I might do. And as we listen to each other's ideas, we always get more ideas. So it's a fun way to think about how can we bring positivity and goodness to the world around us, because for heaven's sakes, we know that there's plenty of the world that doesn't feel so great sometimes too. So the way we began is many years ago, I got
Oh, I'm sorry, Rosemary. If everyone would so kindly just mute yourselves. We did give everybody the ability to unmute, but just so that we have a really clean, so we can hear our poet right now, it would be so great if you could. And I'm going to go around right quickly and see, because we've got some feedback. Sorry, Rosemary, dearie.
No problem, sweet pea.
Now it's nice and quiet. Okay.
All right. So,
it gets too, it wasn't hot.
There's still some voice. Can you find it, Sherry?
I'm looking. If you guys could all just please also help. There's a lot of people, but if you're yet unmuted, thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
You
honey
know,
bunny.
Sherry, that you can go to participants and just mute everybody.
I love you. Let me,
Thanks, Josh.
you're, thank you. I'm looking for that just right now.
You can find it in, you know where participants is.
Yeah, but I can't find I can't find the mute all. But you know what?
So Sherry sends me this note, and I have never met her before, but it's this little note, and in it there's a little, like small thing that I can open up with a blessing in it, and it's this $5, and it's a note that says, I'm giving $5 to people who are making my life better, and I've been receiving your poems, and I would like to send you $5. I'm practicing abundance. And I just thought, this is crazy. This is fabulous. I've never had anything like this happen before. And so I wrote a poem about it. All right, Sherry, you take over the story.
Well, so I still love you every bit as much, but now it's so much fun to actually know you in person. So Rosemerry posted her poem, and many of you I know are recipients of her amazing daily poems, which what a gift. And then I noticed that people were commenting under it, because I think it was called Secret Agents of Change, right? Am I right?
Secret Agents, and you added of change.
Oh, okay. So people were saying, I want to be a secret agent. I want to be a secret agent. And I thought, oh my goodness, wouldn't it be fun to literally create a group of people who could be secret agents of change, secret agents of kindness and joy. And I mustered all of my courage because, as you can imagine, Rosemary's like a rock star of poetry. And I mustered my courage and reached out and said, do you want to do this? Do you want to start a group?
And I said, yes. And so we did. And we've been doing it ever since, sometimes frequently and sometimes less frequently. Thanks for coming with us on our erratic schedule, friends. So the whole idea of Secret Agents of Change, though, is to spread kindness in ways that are surreptitious, which is to say, to do kind things, but not let people know who did it, hence the secret agent part. And then we report back. And on our Facebook group, people send pictures, they tell stories, we get to, and it's the best thing ever to read it and see all these fabulous things that are happening. It's my favorite newspaper I've ever had. It's just filled with thoughtfulness and ideas for other ways to be kind, and a chance to get just this big shot of how generous people can be. And somehow a small act of kindness, I don't know how it is, can sometimes take over a whole day that feels like it's been shot with fear and sorrow. And just one little small act of kindness can stand up to it. So I don't know how that math works, but I do know.
Well, and also I just want to say one quick word about the anonymous part, because of course, please send all of the, signed kindness that you want as well. But Rosemary and I have talked about this a lot, that there's something really magical about receiving anonymous love. In my experience, what happens, and people have also told me this from theirs, that it's like you start to look at everyone as if they're the sender of that love. And so it becomes a fresh way of looking at the world and seeing like anybody could be that secret agent. And I love that part of it, that we're just like receiving love almost just from life itself.
That's right, sweet friend. That's right. So today's special mission is called Mamma Mia. And do you want to introduce it a little bit, Sherry, before I read the poem?
I would love to. Thank you. So first of all, my own mama isn't here, but it is her birthday this week. And I just want to say she follows along. She will participate in this. She's just not an online person, but it is her birthday. She'll be 86 this year. And my mom is the one who really modeled for me what it is to offer kindness and joy unexpectedly to people. And so sorry, I'm gonna just, Judy, are you able to mute? The beautiful, thank you, thank you. So my mom is the person who will bake a pie and give it to the person at the dollar store whose husband is in the hospital, or she will send cards and notes to anyone and everyone, you know, and she's just all about keeping an eye out for someone who's having a hard time. And I've really been so grateful to learn that from her. And so I'm offering part of this mission, and Rosemerry was willing to go along with it as a dedication to my amazing mom. As well, I just want to say that we know, Barbara, I don't know, I didn't know if you came in, I think you may have, but one of our brand new secret agents, her mom, I think she said Harriet is turning, would have been turning 105. So we're also honoring Harriet. We're honoring Rosemary's mom. Did she come in, Rosemerry?
I haven't seen her, but she often is here.
She's often here. She'll probably participate. So I wanted to also offer this in her honor. And go ahead and post in the chat right now if it's your birthday this week, or your mom's birthday, or a mom at heart who has really nurtured and supported you. It'd be nice just to also offer this in their honor. So I'll keep an eye on the chat, or Rosemerry can. We'll see if anybody else has a birthday this week. I'm going to say a little bit more when we do the prompt, but we'll just leave it at that for now, because I'm ready to hear a poem.
All right. So part of our celebration of mothers and sending out this Mamma Mia secret agent energy is honoring that it's not easy to be a mom, and that some of us have very complicated relationships with mothers. And so that's part of what we want to encapsulate in our exploration of this mission. And this poem that I'm going to read, Motherhood, was written at a very difficult time. I was struggling with my son, who was having a very hard time. And also some things were really difficult in the world at that time. And so I was talking with my life coach, and somehow she got me thinking about examples of other mothers. And I thought about beavers. So today's poem is Motherhood. Today, again, I praise the beaver who spends her life building, rebuilding, rebuilding her lodge where her young will live, with small sticks and big sticks and tall, solid trunks, and with logs and rocks and mud, and with her teeth, she builds a home, builds it on moving water. Because rain, because snow, because warm, because cold, because flow, because flow, because flow, her home is forever in need of repair. And so, on a day when a surprise storm has flooded the stream and washed much of my lodge away, I honor the beaver, stalwart, resilient, habitual. I notice the longing to move to land. And then I gather new sticks of courage, stones of forgiveness, logs of compassion, and the deep, sticky mud of love. I wade to the middle of the current. I, like all the other mothers, I build the home again. Yay for those beaver mamas, huh? Can you imagine what it is to have to literally build your home again and again? Perhaps some of you have had to do this in your lives with your families, or perhaps you had a mom who was an example of this, who just somehow always managed to continually make it feel like you had a home, even though things were in a state of upheaval. It's a big thing to be a mama.
Rosemerry is so beautiful. I love that. I'm wondering, because you probably know what I'm going to ask you, if you would be willing to read it to us just again. And I encourage everyone to just, if you are able to, if you're not driving, to close your eyes and just let the poem, wash over you. Thank you, Rosemerry.
I will. I was so delighted I made it through without crying. We'll see if I get through it again. I'll try. Motherhood. Today again, I praise the beaver who spends her life building, rebuilding, rebuilding her lodge where her young will live, with small sticks and big sticks and tall, solid trunks, with logs and rocks and mud. With her teeth, she builds a home, builds it on moving water. Because rain, because snow, because warm, because cold, because flow, because flow, because flow, her home is forever in need of repair. And so, on a day when a surprise storm has flooded the stream and washed much of my lodge away, I honor the beaver, stalwart, resilient, habitual.
We left Wisconsin.
I notice the longing to
We were
move.
in Kentucky.
I notice the longing to move to land, and then I gather new sticks of courage, stones of forgiveness, logs of compassion, and the deep, sticky mud of love. I wade in the middle of the current. I, like all the other mothers, I build this home again. I did just put it in the chat bar also, and if you're in our Facebook group, Sherry created a sweet little poster with it, so I'll put that in our Facebook group so that you can print it out and give it away or send it off or just read it again.
Thank you so much, Rosemerry. What I love so much, and forgive me if you already said this because I was reading all these beautiful people were posting about moms that their own moms or moms who are going through a hard time, or I was reading all those lovely names, but I just wanted to really acknowledge you for something that I know we wanted to be a part of this mission, which is really acknowledging, all aspects of what it is to be a mom. And you really touch into that, and your willingness to share your own experiences always, has been, I know, for so many of us, like just medicine.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Well, I love, in fact, I told Sherry, and you won't be surprised about this, of course, friends, but when I read when I read the missions that she sent to me, I cried as I thought about all these ways that we could bring kindness to the world. Do you want to share our secret mission?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Thank you. And again, just thank you to all of you who posted when I asked. I just love that. I'm going to read it again later just to hold all of these beautiful names of mothers and mothers at heart who have touched us so much. So again, I'm going to repeat a little bit because I'm going to get a snippet of this to send to my own mom since she is not an online person. So I want to say again that I appreciate that part of this offering is in honor of my mom's birthday. And again, my mom has always done surprise things for people. She will be joining in this mission. She sends anonymous letters. She loves to give people money who ask her for money. She wraps up gifts for the librarians at the local library. And I know that she's kind of single-handedly keeping the post office in business, which is where I learned my love of sending postal mail. So I also, again, want to offer this to any mom who's here, any mom who we love, anyone who's played that role to us. The women, all of these women that we're thinking of, they're like the beavers, right? In Rosemary's poem. And it's like and they build homes using their teeth and on moving waters. Like imagine like how similar that is, that feel of that. So I want to say here's to the safe shelters that women build, metaphorically and for real. Also, I want to say here's to the moms whose homes or parts of their homes have been washed away. Here's to all the moms who have passed away. Here's to the moms whose beautiful children have passed away. Here's to the moms who have lost their literal homes or their metaphorical ones. Here's to the moms at heart who were never able to bear children, and to the loving moms who have suffered miscarriages and chronic illnesses of their own or their children's. Here's to the moms who have adopted children, the women who nurture children every day, to the teachers, the doctors, the social workers, to the women who offer kindness and love every day in so many ways. Rosemerry and I were saying this, like this mission, you know, what we really want you to do is to just really like think about people in your own community and anyone who you're either celebrating or supporting in that sense of motherhood or nurturing, caring. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, which we hope you will, is to send surprise love to at least one mom or mom at heart. And I'm going to give you some ideas. And then my favorite part of our missions is we just get to open it up to any of you who also have ideas. So as I'm reading, go ahead and, you know, jot down any of your own ideas. But here's some thoughts on how to enact this mission. So one of my favorite things to do is I love to send letters to the mother of someone I love. So I would just thank her for raising someone who has impacted me so much. So you could just tell her the reasons that you know she was a great mom. Or, you know, you could send a postcard and just say, thank you for being a great mom. Your child has impacted my life in such beautiful ways. Your generous heart is rippling out into the world. It can be as simple as that. And can you imagine receiving an anonymous note like that? And we'll go ahead and post these in the Facebook group. You could also send a card or fruit or flowers to someone who nurtured you like a mom. And you could just sign it, you know, your daughter at heart. You could send a card or a note or a gift to someone who's been especially kind and caring to your child. You know, thank you so much for being like a mom to my child. I just recently did this. My son is in France for about 8 months, and there's a teacher he's working with who has just treated him so beautifully. And so I just sent her a note to thank her for that because it means the world to me. If you want to send my mom an anonymous note, you could do that. Just DM me and I'll give you her address. You could send a loving note to someone who may be grieving, lost, or lonely on Mother's Day. And you could just say, I know Mother's Day may be hard for you. I want you to know you're being held with love today. You could leave a basket of roses or sunflowers on the sidewalk somewhere with a note. If you're a mom, please take one. Thank you for all you do. You could leave an anonymous basket of fruit or candy or flowers at the local school or library. Thank you for caring for our children. You could purchase a copy of your favorite parenting book or Rosemary's poetry and put it in the little free library near you. And just put a note, you know, for a mom who needs support. So those are obviously just a few ideas of ways to offer love to a mom or to a mom at heart. Rosemerry, did you want to say anything before we open it up to our beautiful secret agents to see what people are thinking? Oh, I can't, you can't unmute. Hello, love. Now you should be able to. No?
Hi. Yes, what else? I just want to say I love these ideas. I put as many of them as fast as I could in the chat bar, just little crib notes for you as we're talking. There's such beautiful thoughts, and I'm thinking about something that that Sherry's mother has done for my mother. Sherry's mother sent my mother little hand stitched, embroidered washcloths, and just how sweet that was for your mother to honor my mom. I was thinking about Rebecca and all the ways that she has embodied this kind of, you know, mission, and how all the sweet things that she does for other people. So I want to just honor that lovingness. And I love, Sherry, how you bring up that there are so many ways to think about mother, not just our own blood mothers, but people who have been motherly toward us, toward our children, toward other people who we care about. What a beautiful way to open up this mission to honor that impulse to take care of and to nourish. Yeah.
Hmm.
Patty Jocelyn has a note in the sidebar here. Sidebar, chat bar. Do you type the notes? Sometimes our handwriting is notable and noticeable. Yes. So if you think this person is going to know your handwriting, it might be a good idea to type it up. And we've even gone so far as to have, give your note to somebody who lives in a different town if you're afraid that they're going to notice who you are by your area code, or rather your zip code. So yeah, it depends on how far you want to go with it to make sure they don't know it's you. But
Rosemary, also, I see a note where I had mentioned if anyone wanted to send my mother a note, which, I love when people send her anonymous cards. I don't know I haven't seen if your mother came in here, so I'm going to whisper. Can we do the same with your mom, or?
yes, if anybody wants to send an anonymous note to my mom, which Sherry has done, by the way, and then mom quickly figured it out. But my mom loved it nonetheless. I'd be happy to share mom's address with anybody here who wanted to send a note to my mom. So you can just direct message me on Facebook, or if you don't have my email, and I'd be so happy to give you mom's address too. Thanks, Aida.
And I'm happy if any of you want, we can just open up this love fest in any way we want. One thing I forgot to say is we are going to be continuing this particular mission all the way up to Mother's Day. So it gives us plenty of time to do this. And I was just about to say, if any of you want me to send a note to your mom, or, let's just be really creative in how we're all like offering this kind of love. But we are going to, Rosemary and I realized, why not just extend it and invite in other people? So I think without further ado, if anyone has any ideas, or you just want to jump in and say hi, we always love to see you. There is that reaction button down below. If you click that, it lets you raise that virtual hand. And we would love to hear from all of you, or any of you.
Peter has his hand up. Hey, Peter.
Where is Peter? I'm so glad Peter's here.
And I have to go, so I'm jumping in.
Yeah.
It's very officious of me to do this, but bunch of thoughts, but love your mom. Well, of course, I love Rosemary's mom, and I hope she's here, and I hope she can hear me. I love you, Julie. Thank you for everything. So I don't want to wax religious, but the other day I was having this discussion, and mothers feeling just really disheartened and having troubles, and it occurred to me this story from the Bible where Jesus walked along with his disciples, and they're arguing about who's going to be the greatest. And he stops and he says, "What are you arguing about?" And they say, they're sheepish, they don't want to tell him. So he sits them all down, and he brings a child in front of them, and he says, "Whoever receives one of these in my name receives me, and also receives the Father." And that's who the greatest is. So the message should be true across all religions. Moms are the greatest. There's no doubt. So anyway, my mother-in-law and my mother both grieving lost husbands right now. So I think I'm going to try and do something with that. Mothers who have lost their husbands.
Wow.
And there's a lot of them I know about at this point. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I wanted to tell everybody, thank you. It's so great that there is kindness in this world. I just quit watching the news because I just can't handle it anymore. So I'm watching you guys instead. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. What a beautiful idea to think of a mission involving moms who have lost their partners. Thank you for that. That's a really beautiful way to think about it. My love to your mom too, Peter.
Oh, Peter, thank you. Yes, and likewise. I just want to say a quick thing because that just reminded me, Rosemary. I have a friend who is a single mom, and I completely forgot to mention that too. And she told me once that that Mother's Day is really hard, especially if it's a single mom of small children, because no one thinks to acknowledge you, because your kids they're too little. So I just wanted to throw that out, in our list of special moms to acknowledge, single moms. And I
Yeah.
think I saw a hand. I don't think it was, I can't, Doris, hi.
I had a couple thoughts. I was thinking about a dear friend of mine that was a good friend of my mother's, and my mother passed away a little over a year ago. The blessing has been that this woman has two boys. She doesn't have a daughter, and so I've become her daughter, which has just been a blessing for both of us. Me losing my mama and her getting a daughter in the mix. I gave so many of my mom's things to her, and I get to go visit my mom often when I go visit her. But this woman, Judy, her husband is in a care facility there where she lives as well. And he has Parkinson's and Lewy body dementia and often doesn't know that she doesn't think he knows she's there. So these are the people that really need this kindness. So that I think about sending her some little love notes, just so she remembers how precious she is. The other thing I was thinking about is there are so many people out there that don't have mothers, and or they are mothers and they have young children, and it's nice to work with their children to help them appreciate their mamas, take them somewhere and have them, get something special for their mamas, and then they can give it to them whenever they want. It doesn't have to be on Mother's Day, but I've been able to do that with some children, and it's really fun to sneak in like that. So those are a couple ideas.
Thank you, Doris.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Doris,
Beautiful.
thank you. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Rosemary.
No.
Oh, I just wanted to say that reminded me when my friend told me, my single mama friend, about, not feeling like anyone was celebrating her on Mother's Day. One of the things I did was I interviewed her son and then sent her that audio. It was so easy to do. I mean, she knew it wasn't a surprise because I had to ask her permission, but that reminded me when Doris said that, like, like get with their children and do something special. It can be really beautiful.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. That's a beautiful idea. I think you well, it'd be hard to do that anonymously. So maybe you don't do it anonymously.
Well, you could, I think, if you were in touch with their children, right, and they were a little bit older. This one, he happened to be kind of little, so I had to have his mom orchestrate it, but maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
I see Aida has her hand up.
I do. I just wanted to echo the idea of the library. It might be really easy. I spent my life, a lot of my life in the library. And if you go to the library and you just send an anonymous note to the children's librarian, thank librarian or whoever does the story time, and say, thank you for the impact that you've made on my child. I've gotten a lot of those and they mean so much. Maybe because I'd never had children, but nonetheless, when it happens when they're now in graduate school and I still get those kind of comments, not in a note. Anyway, if it's easy enough to go to the library and anonymously thank anyone there who helps children with homework or whatever, that would, mom or not, I just want to say that.
Thank you, Aida. I saw there were some other great library comments in here too. I love hearing from your side that, how that feels and how it continues to feel as you go on. Thank you so much for that.
In
And how
case you
about
wonder
you?
if it matters.
You're right. You're so right to know, yes, that it matters, that those messages land and grow. Jimmy, how about you?
Hi, Rosemary. So one of the things I like to do is in my Zoom events, someone mentioned that you're a rock star in poetry. I think Sherry said that, right? But I have a lot of people that are not rock stars and desperately want to have like one poem published in a journal or, help with some of their poetry. And I try to do that. It's not something I can do secretly, of course, but I may send send some of them a card in secret, but I try to help them to find a journal where they can get one poem in, and what a great feeling it is for them to be published. You know, they'll never have a book or anything else, but one poem in one small journal would mean a lot to them. So I keep trying to do that with a couple of people that I have there.
That's a beautiful idea. Thank you, Jimmy. Especially, I wonder how we could incorporate writing poems about moms. I wonder if there's a way to do that.
I don't know, but I love that too. And I just want, Rosemerry, thank you for holding I'm responding to some private messages right now. Thank you to those of you who are messaging. I just want to let you know that, but I love that idea of celebrating people's creative work, you know. And who was it? Maybe you remember, there's someone in our group who posts poems. I mean, I know you do this out in town, right? But so someone else also posts poems in chalk on the building side.
Oh, Paula Lepp, she was here too.
Paula, yes, Paula. But I'm just thinking, I love what Jimmy said, like that if there's a mom that we know that we can elevate her work somehow. What a beautiful idea, Jimmy. I'm gonna turn that over in my own head.
Let's see, there were some other things that I saw coming in the chat bar. Barb says, a while back I meant to send letters to some of my grade school teachers, and in looking for address found obituaries. One or two may still be alive, and this is reminding me to look them up again and send them a thank you letter for their contributions to my life and to other students. That is a gorgeous idea, Barb. Thank you for that. And you know, I saw Nicholas had a note too about having a flower for somebody who's already on the other side, and to name them in conversation. And so for these people, even if you find an obituary, I think there's still ways that we can send love to people even if they aren't physically present. So what a beautiful idea. Anyone else? Raise your hand. I see Kim Farley has her hand up.
Hi, beaming in from London, which is a very civilized time of day compared to the rest of you. But I was thinking a couple of things. Over here, we have a lot of food banks, as they're called, where people who are in need can come and get some supplies. And, you know, if such thing exists where anyone else is, then just buying some nappies or buying some formula or buying something that is non-perishable for a young mum would be a helpful thing. And then I was also thinking of women who were maybe pregnant and maybe going to the library or wanting to be pregnant and then going to the section on having a baby and motherhood and all of that, and just slipping a note in saying, you're going to be a great mom, or just saying something sweet about the potential for their coming child. I don't know.
That is so beautiful, Kim. I love all of those ideas. Thank you. And what I love so much and appreciate about all of you is every idea, like when Kim was sharing it, they spark other ideas, don't they? It's just like, it's so beautiful that way. Each one's kind of like, oh, you know, so thank you. And I saw also Susan has her hand up, but I wanted to say that Janine had posted, you know, maybe you could send to the deceased teacher's family as well. And I wanted to underscore that. I recently found out that one of my college professors had passed away, and I hadn't had a chance to send a thank you letter to that person, but I was able to send a note to, in this case, it was a man, not a mom, but still, but I sent a note to his daughter to be able to say all the things that I appreciated. And so I love that you brought that up, Janine. Susan.
I'm pushing myself because you are such a wonderful group, and you're just a wonderful group, and thank you. I have an idea and I have a request, and I'm going to cry a little. One thought is to do something with the homeless. We have a lot in our city, and I often see moms and kids like outside of grocery stores, and I'm never knowing what to do. You know, but I'm going to have different ideas coming up to do it more in a celebratory way for them. And then my request is My daughter has long estranged herself from our family, her family left as me basically, and took 3 grandchildren with her. And I know I'm in California, and I know she's now in Texas, and she's now married only because my sister-in-law is on social media. So totally cut off. But she's a lovely woman, and she works really hard, and she's kind of cut off because of the man who's now her husband. And I thought, and I can't really send anything because I'm in California, and she'd know. And I thought, if I give you, I had to track down her address for my trust. If I can give the address, maybe on the Facebook, anybody who felt called or is able, maybe just send something to appreciate her. I think that would mean a lot to her, and she'd have no idea that it was from me. So it's just 2 thoughts. Thank you so much, though.
Susan, that's really beautiful. And I want to just honor how difficult that sounds to me, and the love that I hear pouring through from you.
Thank you.
Yes, and please, please post. I would love to. I know my mom will send her something, and I'm sure other people. Yes, yes. It's so beautiful. I mean, I love that this is one of the things that we can all do, right? Like we can send these notes for each other and share that love. Thank you, Susan, so much.
And please do post that in our Facebook group, and we'll be sure to send her some notes anonymously. Yeah.
I'm looking to see if there's any other.
Oh, there was an idea that Barb had about poetry. She said, I was just involved in a bike event, and I handed out bicycle poems because it's National Poetry Month, printing out some of the wonderful poems about motherhood and leaving them where people can find them. Thinking of a woman's shelter now, thanks to Kim's comments, will reach them unexpectedly. So that's a beautiful way. And, I think to Jimmy's point about publishing poems, of other people, but I think just having poems read at all can be so beautiful, whether it's in a book or if it's, in a newsletter or I like to leave them on the street, just sticking out, places you can find them in public, which isn't publishing per se, but it is a way to get them read. Hey, Paula Lepp.
Sorry, I kept hitting the wrong button. So, yeah, to kind of piggyback on some other ideas. I mean, I love the idea of providing diapers and baby food to mothers who may be struggling a little bit. I know that we've got many little free libraries in our town, but we also have, in conjunction with a lot of those, something called blessing boxes, which are basically little free libraries for food. And I was thinking to put baby food or diapers in those with a note saying, I mean, something like, hang in there, mama, you're doing a great job. Because, I mean, we all know motherhood is hard enough when you have a support system. And when you feel alone, how much tougher it must be. And just to say to these women, you're doing a good job, hang in there. So anyway, that's my thought.
It's a gorgeous thought, Paula Lepp. What a beautiful idea. You're right. It's so hard already. And just to offer any support, physical, support, and also encouragement. And your haircut looks nice.
I saw that Barbara, where are you, Barbara? Looking for you, but you could just hop on in. Barbara Hinsky wanted to jump in. Okay. Hey, everybody. What a way to start the morning. Thank you so much. My heart is full. Two things I've done that I think that brought me a lot of joy. I was in the grocery one day, and there was a woman with little kids, and she was back in the coupon days, was really looking at her coupons and going over her cart. And it was clear she didn't, she was really to the bone. So I kind of skulked, I kind of stalked her around the store. And when she got in line, it was a long line. So I called the manager over and said, I'm going to pay for her when she gets up there. I'm paying for her groceries. Can you do that for me? And they said that they would, and they did. So that was fun. And, you're not supposed to see the reaction, but I did. And she cried. And so I thought, oh, good. I've made someone's heart
happy today. And this relates to poetry, but in one of my trips to Washington, DC, I was walking around and I came across the head postal building or the post office headquarters or something. And in this beautiful, architecturally beautiful building along the top was carved in stone this beautiful poem about what postal workers mean to us. And when I find it again, I'll put it in the Facebook group. So I wrote it down. And when I came back, I typed it up and I shoved it in my mailbox for the mailman for him and then put the nicest note back. And so I printed it out and would just go around little post office branches and post it, or take it to the counter for them to post, because the postal workers generally feel harassed most of the time. And, nobody has told them this beautiful poem that talks about the essential life work that they're doing. And that just made me so happy. So I am so inspired by all the happiness that we're going to spread today, and lots of love to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, that's so, I got tears in my eyes hearing about that grocery store. And I love the way you did it. And I appreciate that you shared that, because, oftentimes we may want to do something like that, but we think, oh, how awkward to just hand her money or to, you know what I mean? And the way that you handled that was a great idea that we can all use. I know I'm going to take that, because it can be very awkward. Like, you don't want to make them feel, uncomfortable. Rosemerry, did you want to say anything before we go to Joe?
Well, I just am reading Aida's note in the chat bar. She says, 10 years ago today, my beloved mentor, Angelise Arian, died, and I lit a candle in her honor. And sometimes lighting a candle is a simple, wonderful return of love and light. So yes, what a beautiful knowing just how it can be that quiet. It can be something very energetic. That's a gorgeous, gorgeous idea, Aida. Thank you. Hi, Joe Taylor. Congratulations on your
Rosemerry
new
and
book.
Sherry. Listen, I'm thinking of the grandmothers who are raising their grandchildren. I just had the opportunity myself of spending a week with my grandchildren, and as lovely as they are and precious and just every descriptive word I could think of about the kids, they are very tiring for those of us who have reached the pinnacle of life. And I think about my sister who is raising her own grandchildren because of circumstances that have come into her life. And probably all of us know of someone. If you go to elementary schools, you see lots of grandparents who are raising their grandchildren. So I'd like for us to think of that older crowd who may not have the energy they once had.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Thank you for that, Joe. You are so right. That is another when you're mothering your children's children, for whatever, and it's kind of the many layers that go into that of heartache for whatever has happened to your own child, and how it taxes you, energetically, of course, and no matter how wonderful it is, how difficult it is too. Thank you for thinking about that.
Yeah, I love that. And then again, once again, that opens up all these doorways. I'm thinking, one of the things my mom did was to take in her sister's son, because her sister wasn't able to be a mom. And how, Joe, that just opened up a whole world, right, of people who are carrying, but especially I love the grandparents, but it's like so many people are caring for other people's children in that way. It's beautiful.
I had no idea it was going to be such a weepy mission for me. I think I should have had that. I should have probably been able to predict that, but I just, so much of today and things people have said have moved me so deeply. And thank you, friends, for that. You are so beautiful. I love your hearts so much.
I know I have a little a wish that, I often use the phrase like Hallmark holidays to talk about holidays like Mother's Day, and wouldn't it be wonderful if there was a whole section in the card store for all of these things that we're talking about in order to bring it more into consciousness that these days they can be so I mean, of course, for me with my mom, it's a beautiful, happy occasion. But I feel like there's 1,000, as we're looking at 1,000 other layers and angles that everyone experiences. I think all of us, to Rosemary's point, it's like there's so many tender places to look for these kinds of holidays, and so many people can feel left out. And I think that's one of the things that hurts me so much, is to imagine that people would feel left out.
Or even wounded by it, affronted by it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, Rosemary. Absolutely. Yeah. And you are also beautiful. There's just, I love just reading the chat as we're going along too, and just seeing the thoughts that are popping up for people. And we do have about 9 more minutes. And if anybody has other thoughts, or you just want to say hi, that's also always lovely. Oh, go ahead.
People in assisted living who don't have family, we could send cards and ask the staff to share them with people who aren't getting any mail. This is a gorgeous idea, Barb. Thank you. And Sally says, remember women who couldn't have or chose not to have kids.
Yeah, really, those are really important. I know I visit someone in an assisted living house not too far from here, and she's so beautiful, and all of her family has passed away, and I just love that idea of sending cards, or even offering to go and visit if you have that kind of time and ability to go do that.
And Val Zarek, hi, sweet Val. I saw your face earlier. Now I see you. Oh, there she is. Do you want to jump on and say this?
Yeah, I could. Hi, everybody. I love you. I love being here. Yeah, I have a friend who's 99 years old, my bestie's mom, who I've always called my second mom. And she just went into an assisted living, maybe just for rehab, like 2 days ago. And so it hadn't even occurred to me to send her flowers or something. I was thinking she loves emails, and I was thinking I probably can't send her an email because she probably doesn't have her computer. But this is woke me up a little bit out of my own world to say, oh, I can do something. And then I know of another young woman, native woman, who has a terrible addiction and was living on the streets and got pregnant. And so one of her friends took her to the hospital, and she had the baby, and then her and the baby were able to go right into rehab. And now she's out, and they're trying to find a place for her to live. She might be going back to the reservation Friday, but maybe I can get a note to her and some diapers or something to show her that, especially as a sober woman myself, to say, hey, you can do this. And I mean, I know that's a pretty dire story, but I'm supporting the friend who's supporting her, but it hadn't occurred to me that I could also support her. So thanks.
Valerie. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sherry.
Thank you so much, Valerie, for those ideas. Were so beautiful. And it also brought to my mind, the one that you mentioned is an incredibly dire circumstance, but it also reminded me that when someone's a brand new mom, in any situation, oftentimes there can be depression, there can be overwhelm. Everyone's saying, Happy Mother's Day. Oh, and, and it can be a really tough time for a lot of brand new moms. It doesn't feel the way, and then it's harder because there's that layer of, why aren't I feeling differently? I should be feeling like those mothers on the book covers. I've heard that from so many new moms.
Mm. Yeah. So thank you, loves. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for being one of you're always here at our events. It's always good to see you.
And I love the way you said, Val, just this conversation, how it's opening it up for you, for me too. I'm guessing for lots of us, just this sense of having the lens widen and have our arms open. Thank you for saying it just like that.
No, thanks.
And Rosemerry, thank you for what you just said, because, I just want to underscore, it's a reminder of how important every one of you here is. So it's one thing for Rosemerry and I to get on the phone and say, let's have a Mother's Day mission, right? But look how it expands, how the love expands, even before anyone is out, doing your secret missions. I've been changed by all of you who are here and sharing, even if you haven't said anything, just by seeing your faces and knowing that you're someone who cares about kindness and love, that changes things. So I love when you said that, Rosemerry, because it reminded me that it's like these missions are just like ever expanding, and I'm so grateful.
Me too. Me too. Thank you so much, friends, for showing up. Oh, Patty says all the men who are moms, which I think echoes something that I said earlier too. That's true. That's right. Sometimes it's the dad who's the mom. So, thank you for bringing that in, both Patty and Nicholas.
I love that. And just to spell that out, because sometimes I need to say it out loud to myself. So single fathers who are raising their children, send them something on Mother's Day. Like, wow, how beautiful, how beautiful. And the other thing that,
and here, this idea about thinking about mother trees. I love this idea. Thank you. Thanks from Vancouver. I'm not sure who iPhone 21 is, except I love your comment. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
And then the other thing that dropped in, I don't know if this has been said, but obviously children who have lost their mothers is another whole place that we can go to for Mother's Day,
Yeah. Yeah, of all ages.
Oh,
so Doris, I think we have you, and it looks like Patty, Doris and Patty, and then we'll probably hop off. Oh no, Patty's shaking her head. Thank you. But Doris, how about you?
I was thinking about a couple things, and you guys were talking about. I was thinking about, we have a children's hospital here in Columbus, Ohio. Think about the mothers and fathers that are there every day for their children, and it just must be just heart-wrenching. And I think it'd be fun to write little notes and maybe post them around. I thought that would be cool. Then I was thinking about, since my mother has passed away, she loved cards, and I inherited this huge clear tote full of note cards and cards. And I'm like, what am I ever going to do with all of these? And they're so precious because they're my mother. And I was just thinking about all the notes I can write with those, because that's who she was in the world. She was a giver. So I love that. Thank you.
Way to honor your own mom. That's so beautiful. That's a gorgeous legacy.
I know.
Just wrote you such a nice note there in the chat bar too.
Doris, I love that too, because once my mom and I were recipients of pharmacy clothes, and we really hundreds of greeting cards, and we filled them out and hid them in stores that we went to. And so I love that your connection to your mom is also a connection for me with my mom. And, in this case, we could even like write those to moms and put, if you're a mom, open this. And that would be really fun. And we could include Rosemary's, I'll be sending you that printable, and we could include that poem, which would be really lovely for mom to find.
If there is time, I do want to say one thing. I keep thinking about this. Michael Fronte is a musician, dear, and a friend of ours, but he's a dear man, and he was adopted. And long ago, he told us that he never knew who his mom was, so he just loved everybody. he loved every mom, and he did eventually learn who his birth mother was, and of course he had an adopted mother that he's in love with. But I love this whole concept of some people don't know who brought them into the world.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that into the conversation. Yeah. Thank you, Patty. I see, Chesh, I finally saw your hand. I saw you had moved into the top corner, but your hand it's like, it doesn't show.
I know it's it's the coloring of the hand that I think is, yeah. I just wanted to share that all of the ideas today sort of made me think about making personalized cards for the different anonymous notes that I'm going to send to moms that were really good moms to my kids. And my best friend passed away 15 years ago, so I'll be sending her son, who's now an adult, a card on Mother's Day as well. But I just wanted to share this artwork that was, if people can see it, it's a really loving piece of artwork that one of my autistic students made, and I've got permission from them to print it to send out. But it's two sloths, they're obsessed with sloths, and two sloths in the tree looking at each other lovingly. So I'll be making these little cards to send out.
Oh, that's beautiful.
With,
Thank you.
personalized artwork. Like, it's sweet to have that touch, I think.
Absolutely. So lovely. And please, will you, if you would, when you're making them, take a picture and put it in our Facebook group so we can see it. And this goes for everyone. If whatever your project is, whether you add a picture or not, but this part is yummy, and the next yummiest part, which is equally as yummy and also more yummy than this one, even though this is more yummy than that one, is how we get to see what's happening. So if you can, take pictures, write up your story, let us know how you're carrying out the mission. If you have any, so usually we don't have any idea how people respond, but if you do get to sense a response, please do go ahead and share that too. And we love celebrating you. And what happens, it's the best newspaper in the world, friends. It is absolutely the best.
So it is the secret agents. Oh, thank you, Amrita. It is the secret agents of change. And yes, to what Rosemary's saying, I know a lot of times people will say, well, I don't want to brag, I just want to do this. But it's not bragging. What we're doing is we're really sharing, like Rosemary said, we're sharing good news. We're sharing kindness and love. And also know that, whatever you post might be the inspiration that someone else needs who wasn't able to be here today. And maybe they read what you wrote and it inspires them. So thank you all so much. Rosemary, I think, will be posting her poem so that you have it and the prompt. And we love you so much.
Thank you, friends. Thank you, secret agents.
See you in the Facebook group.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. It's so hard to close out the calls.